Ohio University, nestled in the quiet college town of Athens, Ohio, is one of the most haunted campuses in the United States. With its storied history, Gothic architecture, and eerie locations surrounded by hills and forests, it's no surprise that this campus has become a hotspot for paranormal lore. Among the many ghost stories tied to the university, one stands out as the most chilling: the haunting of Room 428 in Wilson Hall. For decades, Room 428 has been whispered about in hushed tones, its legend passed from one generation of students to the next. Unlike other ghost stories, this isn't just campus folklore meant to spook freshmen. The events tied to Room 428 are so unsettling that the university eventually took the extraordinary step of sealing the room. The door remains bolted shut, inaccessible to students, and left to the imagination of those who walk by. But why? What happened in that room to make it the center of such a disturbing mystery? Ohio University's reputation for the paranormal extends far beyond Wilson Hall. In fact, the entire campus is steeped in eerie energy. It's surrounded by several cemeteries which, when mapped out, are said to form a pentagram. At the center of this alleged pentagram lies Wilson Hall, an old dormitory building where unexplained phenomena have been reported for years. And while many buildings on campus are rumored to be haunted, none have inspired fear and fascination like Room 428. The history of Wilson Hall is not unlike other dormitories. It was constructed to meet the growing needs of Ohio University's expanding student population. Over the decades, the building has seen its share of college life, friendships, late-night study sessions, and harmless pranks. But it has also witnessed tragedy and terror. The details of what happened in Room 428 are shrouded in mystery, but local legends paint a disturbing picture. The most popular version of the story involves a student who lived in the room many years ago. According to the tale, this student became obsessed with the occult and frequently used a Ouija board to contact spirits. But one night, something went horribly wrong. Some say she summoned a malevolent entity, while others claim she suffered a tragic accident tied to her experiments. The exact cause of her death remains unclear, but it is widely believed that her passing left a dark stain on the room, one that lingers to this day. Before the room was sealed, several students lived there and reported a series of terrifying experiences. These accounts were so unsettling that they eventually became impossible to ignore. Students described objects moving on their own, books sliding off shelves, chairs scraping across the floor in the middle of the night, and personal belongings inexplicably relocating. One student even claimed to have witnessed a lamp fly across the room with enough force to shatter against the wall. Perhaps most disturbing were the strange writings that would appear on the walls. Several residents reported finding cryptic symbols and messages scrawled in what appeared to be blood or red ink. Even after the walls were scrubbed clean or repainted, the markings would return, seemingly out of nowhere. This phenomenon became so frequent that some students refused to stay in the room overnight. The sightings of a shadowy figure added another layer of terror. Residents described waking up in the middle of the night to find a dark silhouette standing at the foot of their bed. The figure never moved or spoke, but radiated an oppressive energy that left students frozen in fear. Some even claimed they could feel its eyes on them, despite the figure having no discernible features. Even students who weren't prone to believing in ghosts couldn't ignore the strange noises that came from Room 428. Footsteps echoed in the empty room. Whispers could be heard through the walls, and loud crashes would wake nearby residents. only for them to find the room undisturbed. Eventually, these reports became too numerous to dismiss. The university made the decision to seal room 428, though they provided no official explanation for the action. To this day, the door remains bolted shut, a silent testament to the room's disturbing legacy. This has only fueled speculation about what really happened. Some believe the room was sealed to stop further ghost stories from spreading and scaring off prospective students. Others think the university wanted to protect students from whatever dark force might still linger inside. Theories abound about the nature of the haunting. Paranormal investigators have suggested that the room holds residual energy, a kind of psychic imprint left behind by the tragic events that occurred there. This theory posits that the strange phenomena are not caused by an intelligent spirit, but by the lingering emotional energy tied to the past. Others believe the activity in room 428 is poltergeist-related. Poltergeists are often associated with high levels of emotional or psychological energy, and they tend to manifest through moving objects and loud noises. If the reports are true, the room's unsettling atmosphere could be amplifying such energy, creating a cycle of paranormal activity. Skeptics argue that the haunting might be the result of collective imagination. When a story is repeated enough, it creates an expectation, and people begin to interpret normal occurrences as supernatural. A drafty window becomes an unexplained gust of wind. A settling building becomes ominous footsteps. In this view, the story of room 428 is a self-perpetuating myth. However, for those who believe in the paranormal, Wilson Hall's location at the center of the cemetery pentagram is significant. Many cultures believe that certain places act as thin spots, where the veil between the living and the dead is weaker. If this theory holds true, room 428 might be a natural gateway for supernatural activity. The legend of room 428 has become a cultural phenomenon, not just on campus, but far beyond. It's a staple of campus ghost tours, and its story has been featured in books, documentaries, and online forums dedicated to the paranormal. Students often approach the sealed door out of curiosity, some even daring to knock or leave offerings in an attempt to communicate with whatever might be inside. Even though the room is sealed, reports of strange occurrences persist. Students walking past the door claim to feel an oppressive presence, as if something is watching them. Others say they've heard faint whispers or scratching noises coming from behind the door, even though the room is unoccupied. The haunting of room 428 is more than just a ghost story. It's a fascinating blend of history, mystery, and cultural intrigue. For those who have experienced its strange phenomena firsthand, the room represents a brush with the unknown. And for those who have only heard the stories, it's a chilling reminder that some mysteries defy explanation. If you ever find yourself walking through Wilson Hall, take a moment to pause outside the sealed door of room 428. Maybe you'll feel a shiver, a cold draft that seems to come from nowhere. Or maybe, if you're brave enough to knock, you'll hear something knock back. Until then, the room remains an enigma, a silent witness to whatever unfolded within its walls, and a chilling reminder that some places are better left undisturbed.